You talk about this all the time. We have to remember that our viewers and our supporters are 9 to 5 workers, right? They're going to work. The environment that they're in might not be conducive to talking about real estate every day and entrepreneurship.
That's a fascinating and amazing statement because it's something I say quite often is when I'm hanging out with my friends, we are always talking about
All the time.
money,
Yeah,
business,
all the
sales,
time.
problems, how they overcome them. It's always
Nonstop.
it's always money. It's always not that the fact of the focus of
It's
money.
weaved in there. It's weaved in.
It's just in there. Hey, I got hit with this tax bill. What should I do? Oh, I did that. You did this. This one did that. Oh, this one's in the same business. Let me give him a call. But it's always
Something.
infused with money.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's the environment.
but and that might say people might say, well, you don't settle out, you don't relax enough. Like to me, that's just
That is
it
relaxing.
is relaxing. We're just shooting the breeze and we're not talking about how much money we make. We're talking about the struggles of trying to make the money in a
Constant.
business,
Constant.
keep the money moving, all these challenges you might go
Yeah.
through in any type of business entrepreneurship. It's crazy.
I
But
think we
yeah,
take it for granted.
we talk about it all the time.
Greetings, class. Greetings to you. I'm Chris Haskins. I'm going to be your co-pilot today on this Sunday real estate update tips, market strategies with my friend and fellow investor, real estate broker, Dave Borrero. How you doing, Dave?
Very good, Chris. Thanks for having me here. It's always
Yeah.
great to be here with you.
Yes, sir. You too, brother. So I've been doing real estate since 2004. I keep people in my phone and I keep people around me that have been doing it for longer than me. So Dave and his brother have been in the real estate investing game since 1989. David is a broker. These guys buy and sell real estate in 3 different states. So tonight you get to kind of hear a little bit of his input as well as mine regarding the updates on the real estate market and what we got going on for real estate investing.
There
So
is always
Dave,
something happening in real estate investing.
always something
When you
happening.
think you know it all, there's something else that comes out. And as we were just discussing with your issues over in Virginia, right? You
Yeah.
think everything is running smooth, no problems, no worries, and all of a sudden they put another policy in front of you,
Let's talk
rules and
about that.
regulations.
What's your take on that, Dave? With regarding here, the broker now, the definition of a broker, individual business entity who offers to sell, buys or offers to buy, negotiates or authorize deals in real estate contracts. They got that real specific, don't they?
Oh yeah. So it's that I wonder if will they make you have a license for this, right?
Yeah.
If you do fall within that category of doing uh, two or more
Yeah. I
within
mean,
the
come
two
on.
months time span,
12
yes,
months.
well 12 months, right? You're gonna have to get a license to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So this
Yeah,
is
I
new
mean,
for
there's just
Dave.
so many different issues with that if you don't want to have a license, right? Now you have disclosures to make because you have a license, whereas
Yeah.
right now you don't have to. You're just a professional investor.
Well, for you, Dave, that's why I like talking to you. You are a broker. So disclosures is nothing new for you, I'm going to presume.
Yeah, for me, it's based. So whenever we're going to be buying something in the state of New Jersey, where I hold my license, I would have to first disclose that I'm a realtor, and that's basically letting them know that I should, as a licensed agent, you're supposed to be looking out for the benefit of that buyer, of that seller, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
would be more in the sense of I'm going to buy this for X amount of dollars just so I can sell it for X amount of dollars. And you would have to disclose all of this to that particular seller before they make that decision.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you just had to disclose that. And once again, I have no idea. I thought you just had to disclose that you were a practicing professional and you got to have that in writing on the document. I am a real estate.
That is correct. You're supposed to let them know before you even start negotiating with them that you are a licensed agent.
Meaningful relationship.
Correct.
Meaningful relationship.
Yeah. So if you don't, yes, it still has to be on a document. That's correct, but you still have to disclose it up front.
So you got
Technically, you're supposed to have them sign the document even before you start the conversation. That's technically, but I mean that
Yeah.
doesn't always happen. But
Well,
it's basically so that you're protecting the seller. Imagine you buy something from someone for $100,000, meanwhile it's worth 400,000 or 500,000. They
mhm.
don't know any better, but you do, and you're supposed to be there to help them through that process, whether you're purchasing it for yourself or not. And that's how it's looked upon. It's
That's
ethics.
deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. Let's stay here, man, because I, in my mind, right, I always thought like if I was an agent and I went to buy I went to go buy the property, knowing that I could list it for 150, but if I bought it, it'd be 100 today. How would that be in the best interest of the seller if they get more money by just listing it?
Well, sometimes one of the guys that work for me, Jose, he does this all the time. So a lot of the times you're doing that, it's like an estate. You're purchasing it from the estate.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a divorce. Maybe it was something that was left behind as an inheritance,
Yep.
and they're out of state and they don't really want to go through the whole process of inspections and negotiating and so on and so forth. Whereas investors, we come in and we pay cash as is and no obligation to anyone other than making the payment.
Hmm.
And we still tell, hey, if you want to go to the market, you can go to the market. You can get X amount of dollars if you go to the market. But if you go to the market, you also have to make XYZ repairs.
Repairs, yeah,
And
and
then,
time, and time.
right, then you have time and you have negotiating and everything else. A lot of times people already just have it in their mind. They just want to get rid of it. If someone if someone has a number in their mind and you can meet that number, well, then you're going to be able to buy it. But some people just want the most out of it and they're going to go to the market. But I don't know. Looking at that, I mean, I wouldn't want it. That's going to, I don't know if it hurts you or helps you, but now once you have a license, you have to disclose that. And then
Yeah.
once you disclose you have a license, they're going to be looking at you for more advice as if they were actually going to go to the market, but you don't actually go to market. You don't do that. I mean, you sell your stuff, but you have agents that do that for you, right?
Yeah, in fact, Dave, I don't even get involved with the sales prices anymore.
Let me ask you a question. How does this, how does, you're the seller, right? You're building these houses, you're buying them, turning them, building them, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
How do you look at it as a seller now with this new law that the seller doesn't have to pay the buyer's broker until they get to negotiate with that buyer's broker?
You know what, man? In my age, I am beginning to slow down in my emotional conclusions, if you will. Right. So I was talking to an attorney. I got an attorney coming on next week, and we were talking about squatters' rights. And when I sat down with him, I was so anti-squatter. Right. I'm like, squatter going to my house. And then this guy breaks it all down about why the government even has squatters' rights. And Dave, this guy explained it to me, and now I understand why there are squatters. I'm like, I'm not even like my mind is so split that I at least understand why we have squatters' rights now.
Well, I understand why we have squatters' rights, but the those rights are not. It's not these people are coming in and doing things completely illegal, knowing it's illegal while they do it.
No, yeah, I understand. I don't want to go on squatters' rights, but I'm just saying this: when something happens, like when you see the
Right.
squatter right, us as investors, we're like, we'll get rid of
You
them
see
and
the negative impact to you.
let's just go. Yeah, but
Right.
there's deep. It's a lot deeper. Not
Oh yeah,
everybody is.
it's yeah.
It's yeah. So I'm saying that to say I prefaced that by I wanted to say that because when I hear agents not getting a fee for representing the buyers, my first instinct, once again, just like with the
Why, why
squatters thing,
why should you have to pay the agent for the
yeah,
buyer?
or
I
even that. Why? Oh, but now that why should I even care? Right? I mean, what? Like why? But then I think I have to go macro. Well, so micro is like I don't care, shit. You deal with it, right? But now I'm on a macro level. I'm like, okay, this business has been built on that since
premise.
1913. Now we gotta put minds together and figure it out. So I'm like, oh damn, now I have to think bigger than just Chris Haskins, Dave Borrero.
Yeah, I think everything works itself out in time, But I think it's going to immediately impact the business itself for buyers, for sellers, just for the mere fact that no one really knows,
Yeah.
right? Like no one really knows how it's going to impact our business, right? When we're turning a home, I personally think it's going to help the sellers. The sellers are going to make more money. You know what I mean? It's so that's how I just don't. And
Well, you're a broker, Dave. You're in a mix of this, and I mean, obviously, we're touching on all this stuff, guys. Get your questions in for Dave and myself for tonight. Any real estate investing questions, put them in the chat there. Dave, when I think about listing my house, let's say I'm listing it for $500,000, I got to pay 3%. That's 15 grand for me on my side. Who's gonna pay? Or if the buyer only has money for down payment and closing costs, is that a qualified buyer still? In your mind?
are they technically qualified? Well, that's going to be so. When I speak to the mortgage brokers in the business, basically what's going to end up happening is they're going to have to qualify that person to be able to sustain that payment if need be.
What payment?
The payment to the broker. The broker's commission if the seller chooses not to pay for it. And I think the only reason they would choose not to pay for it is because they have so many different offers in front of them that someone's going to come in. Right, someone's going to come in and say, "I'll buy that house for $500, and don't worry about it. I'll pay my broker."
So we're thinking the actual commission is going to be on the contract.
Correct. So there's so on the buyer's agreement.
Wow.
So there's going to be there's the buyer's agreement's in existence now, but not many people, they just don't use it.
You don't talk about it. Yeah.
No, I mean, commercial, it's used in commercial a lot. However, in residential real estate, it's rarely ever used. So the buyer's agreement is a contract with a specific buyer and a specific broker. That is going to stipulate 2%, 3%, 10,000, 5,000, whatever that number
flat
is.
Fee, maybe?
Flat fee monetary. Yeah, it could be flat fees. It could be, I think we're going to see a lot of flat fees on the buyer side. Mm-hmm. But I think, so it's going to be a flat fee or it's going to be a commission structure based on percentage. And if the seller chooses to take a deal with no commission on it, Chris, nobody works for free, right? That broker's got to get paid. So now the buyer has to have that added money on the side to be able to pay that broker.
That's right. That's right.
This is just a crazy time to implement this.
I love it. I love it, man. I love competition.
Oh, this is going to change the world. Oh, yeah.
So I want everybody to know today's episode is sponsored by WealthCon with Ryan Pineda. If anybody's going, I will be there April 8th. Dan Borrero will be in Las Vegas. There's a link in the bio of the show notes below, y'all. You can use the code to get 10% off WealthCon. All right. So Dan and I are going to be, that's the problem with being an influencer. You got to pay for VIP status, but so we'll be up front. And if you want to hang out with us, you get 10% off. If you get the $5,000 ticket, it's only $3,500. No, what's that? $4,500. So you get 10% off. There's a code right in the show notes to come to WealthCon in Las Vegas. So hang out with me and Dan Borrero and Ryan Pineda. How do you say his name?
I don't know.
Put your questions in. If anybody wants to come on live, in fact, I forgot. Let me put the video. If y'all want to come on live and ask questions, I'll put it right here in the chat. Dave, anything interesting happening?
Where's your biggest impact going to come from on this with you? What are you?
With agents?
Yeah, with not the agents, with the whole thing. They want you to have a license now if you're going to be doing more than 2 deals every 12 months.
Well, I think eventually I'm going to have to get a license, and I'm just going to buy into my friend. She's a broker. I think I might just buy into. I'm like, I don't know if I have the time to go to the training and keep how much training do you have to do a year, Dave?
It's every 2 years. It's about 12 hours.
Well, that ain't bad.
It's just, it's ethics is all it is. They basically bring you back in and make sure you stay in that line. Yeah. Which is exactly what we were just discussing, right? Disclosing you're an agent and then helping them through the understanding of how they can get the most money out of the home as opposed to just selling it to you. Whereas now you're really just negotiating for you. You don't have to make that disclosure to anyone. Obviously, I know you're a man of ethics, but if you weren't, there's no one to tell you that you have to.
Well, for me, even right now, Dave, when I go to negotiate, and I'm gonna be, you guys are here to get value. I tell homeowners, like, look, the only reason to sell to me is you get to pick your day, closing costs you don't pay. After we look at the property, you have there's nothing left else to be done. Now, if you list it on MLS in the market, you're probably going to get more money. You're going to have more people coming in and out. You're going to have to do repairs. I let people know even right now with it because I don't want them to think I don't. The last thing I want somebody to do is say Kris Haskins stole my house. I just don't have time for it.
Yeah, that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I can't see them um, not making the deal with you if they're looking for the easiest way out, right? The average person just looking to sell their home is not going to try and sell it to Kris Haskins.
Mm-mm. 1 out of 20. 1 out of 20. And for
These
you,
are these are specific people
yeah,
that when we buy these deals off market, these are people that they're looking for us. We're not even looking for them.
that's right.
I
That's
mean, we
right.
are looking for them per se, but they're looking for us more than we're looking for them.
Dave Gerardo. Did I say that right? Or is it is the G or Gerardo?
Geraldo.
Gerardo says, "What would you do today if you had $100,000 to invest?" Dave,
That's
it's a loaded question, man. You
yeah.
can't
How
even
many times do you get that question, right?
every
It's
day.
Yeah. There's just so many. Where'd you get the 100,000 from? Is the 100,000 liquid? What is it you're trying to accomplish? What are your goals?
What's
Where
your
you
income?
yeah. There's
Your
is
cash?
this 100,000 all you have?
Wow,
Or do you have
so
another 100
much.
behind that? So I mean,
It's too much.
first and foremost, the first thing you need to do, and I know this is a cliche statement because everyone says it, but it's the truth. Invest in yourself, because if you invested in yourself, you wouldn't be asking me what to do with the 100,000.
Oh man, that's a good one, Dave. That's a good one. I think you know what, man, Dave. Is like once again, man. I just think the older you get, you got to be getting smarter. I think us as humans think that we have a money problem. I think that all of us, and including me, we can just write a check or there's a dollar that will help us get to the next level, Dave. Like this guy here with this $100,000 thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, $100,000 is a lot of money. So congratulations if you do have it. There's
Yep,
very few in the world that do in today's
that's right.
life. So, times are tough out here right now. So, first of all, I mean, commend you for that. But you really have to focus. I mean, Kris and I, we do real estate, so I would probably say put it into real estate in one way, shape, form, or another. But then, what kind of real estate? Is it multiple family? Is it a condo? Is it Airbnb? There's just so many different avenues, and that would impact also. Are you okay with, do you live in New York and do you want to buy in Florida or Georgia
Wow, a
or
lot.
anything like that? Right? There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you, but just putting it out there, 100,000. What do you do with it?
Hmm.
I don't know. Don't buy a car.
Gerardo, no disrespect, brother. It's just like when you ask guys like us. When I interviewed Patrick Bet David too, he said, "Man, I think people need to really think about their questions.
Yeah, I remember when you
Dave,
said that.
you got to really think about. Okay, I got 100,000. My cash flow needs are satisfied. I've got X amount of reserves. There's so much. Where do you live? So Gerardo, we need way more. If you want to come on live and we can chop it up with you, the link is right in the chat box. Hit the button to
Yeah, I
come on
mean
live with us.
that would be the best way to do it for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the time we get the same question. So, like you said before, everyone thinks there's a specific number that satisfies all of your needs as far as finances are concerned.
Don't worry.
I know people that did a hell of a lot of things with a hell of a lot less than
Less.
$100,000. So a
I'm
hundred
one of them.
thousand dollars is a lot of money. So again, congrats. But
I'm one of them.
there's
Too
just
much.
so many
It's too
different things.
much.
Too
Yeah.
many angles. It's
So Gerardo, for me, when we do have that type of money now, it's not like if or how we put it right into real estate for me. But that's what works for me because I know I'm buying a house at 70%. below market value. I know how to fix it up, sell it. I know how to manage a tenant, all that. So for you, Dave and I, we don't know what your level of skill is, right? So
No.
you can't just say and
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we're buying real estate with it. It's a matter of what kind of real estate, right?
Mhm.
Think of real estate like a car, right? There's all cars are going to get you from a point A to B, but there's 100 different cars you can use for that same scenario,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
So you gotta pick your car and know exactly
Yeah. What vehicle you want to do?
what vehicle, what
How much time? How
destination.
much time does he have, Dave? What if you don't got no time? We can't tell him to go get a flip. You ain't got no damn time. You're gonna destroy yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna destroy yourself.
you'll be that 100,000 will be gone, and you'll be selling me the unit back for 50.
Dave, can you imagine telling somebody that works 9 to 6 to go buy a fixer upper and they don't have a relationship with a contractor?
Oh,
They
you
destroy
know,
it.
it's funny because Welby says this all the time. People they want to buy property because they think it's cool because they watch other people on social media making money,
Mhm.
and then they're like, "Yeah, how are you going to work it? I mean, are you going to fix things? No, I'm not going. I don't worry about that. I'm just going to get a manager. I'm just going to get a manager. Yeah,
I
that's great.
love it.
Good
I
luck."
love it. So y'all go to the show notes below. Hang out with me. There's a code for 10% off WellCon. The link is in the chat to come on live with us to ask questions, so we can help you with your business.
So educating yourself is the first and foremost.
That's
You
right.
know, it's before we decided on getting into what we get into. Believe me, we probably looked at 100 other different businesses. This, that.
I did.
There's it's. I don't. Sometimes you look back, you like look where we made it, but it felt like it was like that. But it's 30 years.
Sometimes I wake up, I feel the scars. I'm like, man, did that really happen? Do you hit it? Do you get that once in a while? Not all the time, but I'm like,
No,
did I
yeah,
really
of
get through that?
course. Yeah. You put
I
yourself.
made it through that.
Yeah, it's. But when I really uh, enjoy that is like when I'm sitting around with my friends hanging out, like so we're talking. I'm like, I used to do this. I used to own a DJ company. I used to do ATM machines, dude. I was in laundromats,
Oh
and they're
my
like, what?
Lord.
They're like, what the hell? Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man. I used to go do weddings for like $600.
DJing?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't
So
imagine.
you look back to where we are, and like, although we know how we got here,
I don't.
it's a crazy
Yeah,
journey.
I
Like
just like,
you kind of know, but like intricately, like there was so many downturns, upturns, left turns, scrapes, cuts, burns. Like the days were like, that's it, I'm done. I'm out of this shit. I ain't doing this no more.
that's
Wake
every
up the
month.
next day, let's go back to work.
Got to work. Well, Dave, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because when you fall in these traps, you're like, how am I gonna get out of this one? And you just figure it out, man. You just figure it out.
But I but you have to be the not special, but the right mindset to be able to fail and still get up
Yeah, it's true.
and fail again and
That's
still
true.
keep going at it. Right? I mean, yeah, because you're going to have success. Where there's failure, there's success as long as you continue on that road.
High Tech says, how do you create 30,000 a month in cash flow with real estate? Well, I'm gonna have to leave that to Dave because my rental portfolio does not make 30,000 a month.
$30,000 a month. Uh, I mean, you're either going to have a couple units making you a whole lot of money, or you're going to have a whole bunch of units
Single
making
family.
you a bunch of little money that equates to $30,000. And it's funny because the people that talk about $30,000 a month are not typically the people that just bought those units. Those are people that are cash flowing on units that they've owned for years,
That's right. I was gonna go there, Dave.
right? So it's years that
Starts
they've
with one.
owned. Exactly.
Starts
It's
with one.
not So that's like
That's another
that's a,
disconnect in the day. That's another
it's.
disconnect. Everybody
I
was,
was just
I
about
want
to
100
say.
doors. I want 100 doors. Like,
So, but I say this. So he asked the same question in reverse, right? What do I do with 100 grand? Okay, forget that question. How do I make 30 grand? It's if you got to start somewhere. You get one door, you get two doors, you get three doors. I promise you, before you realize it,
you have 10 doors.
you'll have 10, 15, 20 doors.
Yep.
And the cat don't get so focused on that cash flow. That it's the
Master
equity you want.
acquisition. Master acquisition. There you
Exactly.
go. Master. I got to tell you, the first few doors will be the hardest. I'm going to tell you
Oh
that
yeah.
because the first 5 for me were just, I feel like, Dave, it was almost like digging in a mine shift, dude. I mean, I'm like, damn, can I make it? But then after you get 5, 6, 7, 8, it just gets a lot easier.
It's anything that
Yeah, it's
how to
true.
do becomes easy,
We're
right?
buying today. All right, cool. Just buy. Just
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time my brother and I ever did that. It was a title company that had they had a deal that didn't go through on the table. It was 275,000. They call us up. We had just sold 2 other homes in that same area, so they call us up, and I asked a bunch of questions, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll send you the money. So we sent $275,000 cash within an hour of talking to them. Never saw the house. Never ever. They just sent us a couple of pictures. This is the house, right? Blah 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 blah. We bought the house for $275,000. That was, and it didn't scare me. What scared me is that it didn't scare me. That scared me.
I want you to stay here for a minute, Dave. You have done the reps to be able to make the decision and act. Because Dave, all you do is make a decision, whether it's picking up the phone, buying a pizza, buying a new car, buying a pair of shoes. You just bought a piece of real estate. It was just a decision. That's it.
Yep. No, I mean
I
that's
want people to
pretty
stay.
much, yeah.
It's nothing
And
but a decision.
and to our surprise, we walked in that place. That place looked amazing.
Better than you thought.
It looked better than the one we sold.
Let me get some questions here, Dave. High Tech says, did you ever go broke and bounce back? Dave, quickly.
Unfortunately, I wish I could say because everyone has said the same thing. During the downtime, yeah, during the downtime when the market bust, with the market bust, I mean, I think everyone that went broke back then were the people that should have been broke from the beginning because they were
Basically.
spending money, leveraging themselves, knowing that it doesn't happen. But I mean, look, I was born broke. I come from a poor family. I can tell you that.
You're
But
a
as
mess.
far as like making bad decisions and going broke and leveraging, if there's one thing I learned from my brother, I'm sure everyone on here knows my brother Dan. Uh, I followed him from when I was a kid, and I see everybody following him now. But he was my second father, and he was also very conservative. So I think looking back, I'm more of a risk taker than he is. But looking back, I'd say the reason I never went broke was because I was guided by my brother.
You're lucky with that.
Otherwise, I might have had that. I might have a different story tonight. But I mean, fortunately, yes, it never happened. But I mean, I wake up broke every morning. If you really want to know the truth, right?
In your
If you
mind.
don't wake up broke,
In your
then
mind. It's here, right?
yep, yeah. I mean, money is not. It's not. I mean, listen, it's nice to have, but I don't work for money. Nobody should be working for money. You work
Value.
for the joy, for the value of it, right? But obviously, the money's the end result of the reason we work.
Byproduct.
I'm not going. I'm not leaving my house and going to do things if I'm not going to make any money. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is don't focus on the money. The money is the end result all the way forward.
Byproduct.
Yes. Yeah. It's not the reason.
You'll go broke thinking about money. You go
Yes.
broke. You'll stay broke. Yeah, you got to think about the value.
Yeah, because you ever see the carrot in front of the horse, and horse just keeps running, keeps running, keeps running, keeps
It was
running.
dead.
Yeah,
It was
I
dead.
don't. Yeah. I wake up broke every morning. That's what I could tell
Good,
you.
good for you. So high tech. I went broke. I was in a music business and I lost it all. $80 in my pocket, living on my friend's couch back in 2002, which is what took me to real estate. So yeah, I had a big fall. Heartfelt. What are three things that you didn't know that you wish you knew as a beginner? Dave, you
What
one. We'll do one because we got a bunch of questions here.
are three things that you know
Just do
now?
one that you knew now. So you'll do one, I'll do one, and we'll keep moving.
Three things. You go first.
One thing that I wish that I would have known was how to raise money. Right? I used to think that my goal was like real estate. I want to be this real estate guy doing deals and flipping and all this mess. But now that I finally understand how real estate works, do y'all know that money, real estate is the like money is the fuel and the gas that is the gas that fuels real estate. So if you master the money, you'll never have to worry about buying another house. People, do you know if you got plenty of money, people will bring you real estate to buy? So I became a professional money raiser, and now I work with people that have deals.
That's a great one. For me personally, I I wish that I was able to figure out a long time before now uh, how to get more people to come with me, follow me, and so I can train them and let them go out and come back with more money for me. Um,
Mm,
I always use the term. It's simple. If it's very difficult to swing a hammer all day long,
mm,
but it's very simple if you have 10 people swinging that hammer with you and for you,
mm,
right? So if I'm able to get 10 people in line with me, I'm only capable of handling so much regardless of, I'm a
mm.
human being.
Any
So
human.
no matter how good you are, you can only handle so much. So
Yep.
I just wish that I would have realized that and give up power sooner.
Give it up. Yeah, Dave, you know some people that do stuff better than you out there? Did you
Oh
know
yeah,
that?
yeah, of course.
I learned that later in life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A high tech. What's something you wish you knew? We did that. New Life says, "How was the laundromat business, Dave?"
Laundromat business was a long time ago, actually. My brother and I, we would go and buy laundromats from people that own the buildings.
Mm,
And we would then buy the laundromat and the building, run the laundromats for 2 to 3 years, get them up
hmm
to where they should be, all new machines, brand new,
hmm
sell the laundromats and keep the buildings.
Oh, wow!
Yeah.
Come on, that's a McDonald's move right there.
So and then the laundromats, they just keep, that was our cash flow.
Printing
We
out
would
money.
sell the laundromats for pretty much exactly what we bought the building for.
So you got a free piece of real estate.
Yeah.
Damn.
You actually saw some of those buildings, I think.
Oh, really? I went to. Okay, so you got residential upstairs.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I gotta get my butt up there. Get your questions in quickly. No Shay. How is this new law going to affect subject to existing mortgage? Well, luckily it's just flipping contracts. So if you're selling and buying and selling sub twos, you might need to get a license. But don't forget, the new law is only for contracts. It's not saying you can't buy or sell. So if you get a house under contract and buy it and sell it the same day, that doesn't even fall under that law. So
Yeah, I was confused on that before too, before I spoke with you. Yeah, it's strictly saying if you're gonna flip the paper.
mhm.
So if you put the house under contract and you have your name on it, now you have control of the deal. Now you come to Chris and you say, "Hey, Chris, you want to buy this? You're going to need a license to do that."
Basically, yep.
Yeah. If you're going to buy it and keep it yourself, then you're fine.
Software we use, I got a software company that I'm actually quoting right now is paying me. This new software I'm using is paying me 5% APR on checking accounts.
The software,
Yeah, the software comes with a banking platform.
and
You
they're
seen
paying you
this?
5%. That's money market money.
I can't believe it, dude. So
They're paying
actually,
you 5% interest on your checking account.
on checking account, it's some new shit. It's all virtual though, so they don't have a location. But I don't want to speak on it yet. I just opened up the bank account last week, but I want to ask you. Every time I mention this to people, they're like, they're ready to sign up. Is that something you would be interested in too?
I mean, of course. I mean, yeah. I mean,
He's
this
interested.
the only. I mean, right now, money market is the only position really giving you 5% or CDs or whatever. But now your
Mhm.
CDs are tied up. But the money market's giving 5.
Yep. It's a company. They found me from my content. They were like, look, this is what we do. I met the whole company and I went through it. So we'll get to that later.
So now that's a back end CRM for your system.
They have the bank account. Check this out, dude. You can log into your bank account, right? You can go to your deposit and write on the deposit in the bank account, Dave. Can you do that with your current banking system?
You can write on the deposit.
Yeah, you can go log in your bank account. I did it. You know how nowadays, right? You go in your bank account.
But you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank in order to do that.
I don't know if there's a minimum or not. I just signed up last
week.
So
you can put a deposit in and write off that deposit.
I'm saying you can put the deposit in,
right? And then you can write against it.
No. I'm sorry. Let me rewind. So now, if I put 100,000 in the bank, right? My accountant has to say, or I have to have a system to say, where did this come from?
Right.
But I can log in and actually click the 100,000, right? 1, 2, 3, easy.
Oh, exactly where it came from, and
in the banking account. So my account.
Oh, really? Oh, so when you now give it to your accountant, it's already there.
It's done.
Oh, that's nice.
Done. So
yeah,
what do you?
That's nice.
Does your bank allow that?
No, we use primarily we use Chase now. We used to use Signature. Remember, we got caught with that.
Oh yeah, you got caught with that. So anyway, I'll send y'all the link to check it out after I've been looking into it. But anyway, it was something cool. I forgot where I got that from.
Think about though, when why haven't someone come up with that?
I don't know.
It's like we're literally writing. Okay, it's coming from here. This comes from here.
Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah. I do it all on spreadsheets with my accountant, but I literally have to, go back to my notes. Okay. Sometimes I have to look at the check. I click the button. Let me see the check. Okay, this is what that was for.
And they set me up. They walked me through it, and they said, "Well, you can click here, and you can just type a little note on there, and
that is great."
I'm like, this is. And then I call my regular bank. I'm like, why the hell y'all not doing this?
Yeah, how does that?
Anyway, so these new virtual bankers, I think banking industry is gonna be in trouble.
Oh, you don't need the brick and mortar anymore.
Nah, we're done with that. Carmela, what do you suggest a very first purchase? Fix and flip, multifamily, or duplex? Uh-oh.
So our first purchase was rentals. Our first.
I don't know if I recommend that, Dave.
No, I'm giving you what my first was.
Yeah.
As time went on, we were buying flips to come back and buy the properties that we wanted to keep as rentals. But it's really all depends on your cash flow, your time. What time, how much time do you have for each property? You want to be a one-hit wonder and get a flip. And some people get flips and say, I'll never do it again. And some people get a flip and they're like, I can't wait to do it again.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, I personally, right now, when we do flips, my responsibility is to design it, talk to the contractor, make sure the material's on the job, but I don't paint. I don't do floors. I just walk the property. But you got to get there. I wouldn't suggest you don't do anything. You got to be there. Some people aren't very handy, but they want to do flips. There's actually one of the people in our mentorship program. He has multiple guy. He's not very handy, but he's become handy. But that's another. Everybody's different. Some people just want to hold on to the property. They don't want to actually go through the process of flipping it, because if there's a win, there's also could be a loss, right? So
that's true. You got to be willing to lose if you're going to win. You got to be at least willing to lose, y'all. That's the problem I'm noticing.
I think all these new people coming in to do these flips, the numbers are so tight. Like if you can make 20, you can lose 30. Right? So that's so tight, right? And if the market shifts for the worse or flattens, that's gone too. So when you're flipping, the key point is to, as fast as you can, in and out, back onto the market, get into the market and you're accustomed to when you purchased it. Some people, they're getting into these flips and they're 6, 7, 8 months down the road and they're still not done. What are you doing?
Trying to squeeze every penny.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? They're trying to find someone to do it for 10 cents less.
Yeah, I don't
Meanwhile, I
want
would have paid a quarter more. I would have had it done and the house sold and money in my pocket already.
bet on to the next one.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
But those are
Speed.
things you learn. Speed. That's Patrick but David, right?
Speed.
Those are the things you learn, right? Everyone is, you got to beat every contractor up. Every nickel counts. And it does. I don't want to seem like it doesn't. But the most important thing is to get in, get out.
Get it done.
Yes.
Get it done. High tech. If you go right there, you'll see kris property data. You got to have PropStream. If you're getting in this business, you best to have a software to get your numbers. You got to have that. It's a good one for a broker. Dave, is there New Life says, is there a workaround to buy a short sale from a family member?
So you're supposed to have arm's distance or arm's length. So is it a workaround? I mean, I've seen people have someone else's wife buy it under their maiden name. It's really based on the name, right? So if Kris Haskins, his brother Ronnie Haskins, maybe Ronnie's wife could buy it or something like that. You have to be careful with the names. You can't have the same last name. Definitely can't have the same address. But it's as difficult as it is to find out if it wasn't an arm's length transaction. It's not that hard either, because sometimes people just trip on it, right? And they don't. The best thing to do is not to do it. However,
that's
if
what
you
I was
choose
doing.
to do it,
That's what I was doing.
If you choose to do it, go ahead. But you're also choosing to take on the risk.
In my opinion, it's just not worth it. I mean, I've seen people go down for much less. And if and when, I always say they're coming one day. Is the more successful you get, they're coming. If they choose to come for you, these dudes are sharp.
Oh yeah,
these dudes ain't dumb. These agents, they got people on payroll that they pay to look for this stuff. So just remember that stuff.
It's just not, it's a lot of times like we're doing. One of my agents said, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for this property for this guy. He wants a 3-family. Can he rent the apartment? Can he make the attic an apartment?" Like, yeah, you might as well make the basement an apartment too. And you ask me? Absolutely not.
Wow.
You cannot do that. I mean, can you? Absolutely. But should you?
Why can't you make I don't know. Why can't you make an attic an apartment? We don't have that stuff here.
Like there's a fire in that attic, in that building. Smoke rises to the top. Where smoke's going to go in that attic?
There you go.
That person passes out. It's not even the fact that the door was open. There's access for them to come up and down. They're passed out. Now they're dead. Now you want to live. You want to live with that on your mind.
Got it.
Put that person in there.
Got it.
You can do it.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of that here in Virginia. We don't have the big.
Oh, in New York and New Jersey, parts of New Jersey, there's
those big tall.
There's one place now. There's legal ways to do it. The problem is to do it the legal way.
Costs way more.
It costs a lot more money. You got to put fire escapes. You have to have egress from the window area, right? You have to have it recorded. You have to change it to a 3-family as opposed to a 2. There's legal ways to do it.
A lot more cost.
The problem is that because of the cost factor, most people don't do it that way.
Got it. So look, guys, the show notes. Come to WealthCon April 18th. Hang out with me and Dan Borrero. Use the coupon code to save 10%. Dave, anybody? How do they follow you? Are you on Instagram, YouTube?
The Borrero Group, BORRERO Group on Instagram. David Borrero right on Facebook.
Cool. All right. It's been a pleasure talking to you, my brother.
Kris, great as always. Thank you very much. And I'm eager to find out if that law actually goes through.
They already passed it. They got to just.
You're
supposed to come in April or June or something. I don't know. Something crazy. All right.
All right, brother. Thank you.
See you next time, family. Peace.
Bye.
Yep.